Moving closer to you, Joan.
No, they're
I
close.
know.
They're closer to us.
Oh,
About 15 minutes.
I was looking for an alert to see if there was a concert at Wrigley Field tonight, but I don't see anything.
maybe take a moment and ask, how's their week been? How's the week been?
You did? Said, can you text it?
Thank you. Ethan found it. Thank you. And maybe the ultimate question of the night.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to for this Shabbat? What are you most looking forward to on this Shabbat? So share that with your neighbor. So let's bring that piece into the sanctuary with Sholom Rav on page 178. Actually, this is written by Jeff Klepper, who is from Illinois, from Chicago. Jeff Klepper, pretty special. I grew up on this version of Shalom Rav, and so I'm very happy with you, Amanda, this evening. Thank you. Page 178 for peace. You can just sing it. Oh, wow. You want me to sing it in that key? That's going to be fascinating. Let me just start it and you guys just enjoy. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim. Then Jeff Klepper takes a hard left turn here, musically, I find. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol sham b'shlomecha. Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. So I'll say that, the Kabbalists in the 16th century, when they really wanted to start Shabbat and they didn't know how to get themselves in the mood for it, well, then they sang all of Song of Songs, and they did this as they were overlooking the hillsides around spots. But I love that we just figured out another way to bring in Shabbat here in the sanctuary and bring in that peace and that shalom. And I'll just say, I know that for so many of us, with the news yesterday of Queen Elizabeth's death, that we realize that the whole world seems to be in this pensive mood, this reflective. What have these years of her reign been like? What's happened in the world since then? What has humanity been at its best and at its worst? And how did she help us through that as a leader? And I know that for many of us in the Jewish community, we're also in a pensive mood, but we are in this way because this is the month of Elul. Just 2 more weeks and then we'll usher in the High Holy Days together. And so here we are in this month of Elul, figuring out, who are we? What's our year been like? Who are we at our best, and who we've been at our worst, in order to try to get us to reflect to be our best. And I don't know if you know of this tradition, but many Jews around the world wake up to the blast of the shofar during the month of Elul. Now, I'm not going to do a shofar blast. Some of you may have, wow, I guess there's somebody online who's also just waking up. Kind of fun to hear. But as we wake up to the shofar blast, oh, did anybody wake up this morning to a shofar blast? Anybody clever enough to find that on their phone as a way of putting the alarm during the month of Elul? I bet some of you are going to tell us later that you just did that. I love it. But I love the shofar because it's this perfect symbol of what we need to do if we really want to get to the best of ourselves. First, we focus on our breath. All it takes to actually blow a shofar is to be able to summon some breath inside of us. And then what do we do next? But we do this playful thing. Do you know, if you've ever seen a baby who does those raspberries, like, that's all it takes to blow the shofar. Is you just need to be able to get to that point where you could be silly like a baby, but then it could lead to something profound. Love that too. And I also love the way in which it's narrow, just this tiny hole, but then it makes this large sound. So we really listen, and it's easy enough to do. And you don't need anything fancy to really get there. You just need a simple shofar. And I'll say that tonight, we are so lucky as a community because we get to welcome someone who is an incredible rabbi who teaches us so many of the lessons that at our best a shofar does. Rabbi Rena Singer is somebody who knows how to help us to focus back on the breath. How many times has she started a Shabbat service right here by telling us, just breathe. And we just breathe. And we feel a little better about ourselves and the world. And like the shofar, she makes a very, very loud, amazing sound with her beautiful voice that's beautiful to listen to as she sings, and also beautiful to hear her insights that come from this place of being small and mighty. Meaning this, I don't know very many people who have the kind of gifts that Rabbi Singer does and is able to be humble, to get small enough to listen to what she needs and what this world needs. And then she is able to make this kind of blast with her voice where we are called to attention and to our better selves. I am so grateful that she's also playful, that she reminds us that Judaism should be fun. And she actually makes it fun for all of us. I love that about Rabbi Singer. We all love that about Rabbi Singer. So tonight, at a time where our people is remembering all of the gifts of the shofar, how perfect that we are installing this evening our Rabbi Singer as really our call to our best selves. And I'll say that about the shofar, the commandment is not to blow a shofar. And the commandment is not to be a shofar. The commandment is to listen to the shofar and then respond. And that's why, Rabbi Singer, you've chosen your perfect first home as a rabbi, because you have this community that really listens to you. And we respond to your wisdom and we act on it. So we're grateful. We're grateful that you have parents like you do. Great rabbis, Rabbis Beth and Jonathan Singer, who have taught you so much naturally about what it means to be a great rabbi, which really means to be a great person, to gather wisdom and then teach it and show it. I think that that was a version of amen. And then you also have another extraordinary rabbi, Rabbi Sarah Luria, who will install you this evening. Rabbi Luria knows what it is to create loving community where people can be able to gather in homes and be able to meditate, sing, and to take part in creative rituals. And what's interesting is even as Rabbi Luria has taught you, Rabbi Singer, so much, I think you also teach her a whole lot in return. So we're grateful this evening that we're able to wake up to the call of Rabbi Singer, to wake up to the call of our best selves, and to do so as a community on this Shabbat. So how fitting it is that some of the people that have been those who've responded to your call for leadership are with us this evening, and they're going to bring in the light of Shabbat with us. So we'll invite now to the Bima Austin Hufford from Macomb. Great to see you. And Pam Bondi and Joan Field from Women of Temple Sholom. And Amanda Rios Leibowitz and Jessica Min and Linda Tate from Sholom, which is our group. You can come on up. Macomb is our group that is for our 20s and 30s. Sholom is our group that reaches out to Jews of color and those who are raising Jews of color. And we also invite to the Bima Debbie Levinson from our Chesed group, our Chesed circle, in the blessed memory of Juliana Schaefer. And together then they are going to help us usher in the light of Shabbat that Rabbi Singer has helped us to learn how to light. And so we turn to page 120 as we kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you so much. And as you make your way back to your seats, we'll invite up the Singer family. So Rabbis Beth and Jonathan, as well as Robert and Jenny, and Rabbi Singer, to join us here at the candles, or up here in the middle podium, to lead us in Kiddush. It's on page 123. In body and in spirit, we rise. Close to the microphone, please.
Drag rabbis to a mic.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzah banu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzon inchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh Bereshit, ki hu yom tehila, v'nikra'ei kodesh, Sefer Yetzion Mitzrayim.
L'chaim. We may be seated. As Rabbi Conover touched upon those Kabbalists that went out to actually greet Shabbat, we imitate that moment every single Shabbat, imitating that going out into the field like those Kabbalists to say, I'm not going to sit and wait for Shabbat to come. I'm going to rise and turn to welcome Shabbat. So we do so with L'chado D on page 138, as we do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, rising on the last verse and facing the entrance.
L'chadoti likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. L'chadoti likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamoy v'zachor v'dibor echad kishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litila l'chadoti likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. L'chadoti likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נפסוכה סוף מעשה בבקשה בתחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה לקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת לקבלה התעוררי כי באורך ומיורי אורי שתדברי כבוד אדוני עלייך בגלל לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת
Eyes and face the entrance.
Holy Shalom, Ataref Allah, Lam Simcha Utzola, Tov Kamunei Am Sebula, Boi Chala. לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing on page 146.
Lai la lai 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 la lai 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
turn to page 152 for the watchword of our faith.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם במזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Amen. As we get ready for Micha Mocha on page 158, recalling our ancestors who went through this unbelievable experience, we get led in with a poem called The Story of the World. Praise the improvised, the imperfect, the jerry-rigged, the jerry-built. Praise Jerry, whoever he was, a landsman after my own inept broken heart, which I keep trying to fix with a little duct tape and Elmer's glue. Praise Elmer. Praise the tacky, tottering, half-assed job, the unprofessional, the unreliable, the unstable, and the unsound. Praise all the safety pins and the paper clips and the staples holding the story of the world together. A story that holds up with an impossible plot, a vast cast of rickety, flawed characters, every last one of them and their experiences unbelievable. Page 158.
Gailim Adonai Mikamocha Nedava Kodesh Nora
Nora,
Tehilo
Tehillo,
Osei
Osei,
Pele Nora
Nora,
Tehilo
Tehillo,
Osei
Osei,
Pele Malchutecha Raul Anecha Okayam Lifnei Moshe Miriam Ze'eli
Zeli,
Anu
Anu,
Ve'ameru Adonai
Adonai,
Yimlo
Yimlo,
Leolam
Leolam, As we turn the page to the words of our Hashki Venu, we listen to that quiet, small voice. Page 160.
Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim lechaim Hashkiveinu shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim lechaim. You go to sleep in peace until the morning comes. May you lie down in peace until the morning comes. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim lechaim.
We rise on page 164 for our words of the Amidah and continuing on the even pages.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasrei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah Atagi vor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata Rav Loshia, Mori hatal, Mechakel chayim b'chesed, Mechaye hakol v'rachamim rabim. Tomech noflim v'rofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaya, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Listen to that quiet voice underneath the hum of one, unbeknownst to you, is the voice that rides on the wind, the one that feeds on the dusk's last light, that pebble of bright above rain, cloud, or snow. You are in that silence. So is God, knowing all and unknowing. Listen to the quiet, and inside the glove of muffled intent is a word never before uttered, now flying in with its speckled wings, the contour you still seek, caught in the craw that soon sings. Take a moment of privacy of silent prayer, each of us in our own way. And when you feel ready, you may be seated.
prayers for the week tonight to the Shalom Rav, thanks to Amanda. And on page 180, beautiful old friend of ours, say Shalom. Ose Shalom in Roma.
Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imu amen. Lai 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 lai. Oh, say shalom Roma. Oh, yes, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imu. Amen. Lai 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 lai.
Well, today a very good friend came to our home who is an artist and just went through a bout with cancer. And as he did every day for 100 days while he was in treatment, he made a piece of art, a painting. And he would do it the first thing in the morning. So when he would get up in the morning, he would do this painting. And he said that that was what gave him sustenance. That's what gave him inspiration, even fun, even energy, to be able then to do the hard stuff that came right after. So those days were filled with both darkness and light because he was able to generate that gift of his to be able to paint, to create, even amidst his illness, even amidst his most harrowing times. And some of us are artists and we can do that with our time. And for others of us, we need that little bit of energy that comes from a good friend calling us when we're down or when we're sick. Or sometimes it comes from a visit from somebody surprising and wonderful. Sometimes it comes from a caregiver who actually got energy from another person's call to give them the energy that they need to take care of loved ones who are ill. And so I say that as we are this community of care, concern, and love, and inspiration, and energy, I know that that's what we can generate together from our homes and in the sanctuary as we think about those who are in need of healing. And so if there are those that you're thinking of, either who are going through chronic illness, those who need just a little bit more energy because they're down today, or those who are ill in any way, I invite you to share their name, and we'll start over here on the side of the sanctuary and just say their names out loud or in your heart. Holding them in our hearts, we turn to page 371.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, make our lives a your blessing and let us say, Yishebeirach imotei, B'kor habracha le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of let us say Amen.
So this month of Elul is a time of being pensive, of thinking about ourselves. It's also this time of great joy and excitement because we mark this by saying that Elul is not only a month, but it's an acronym for one of the most beautiful lines from Shir Shirim, from the Song of Songs. Ani lidodi vidodi li. I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine. It's a time to remember what we are for one another, how we are this special beloved community. And so tonight, we are celebrating not only the installation of an extraordinary rabbi, but also the anniversary of so many in our community who are celebrating either a 5-year anniversary with Temple Sholom, or a 10-year anniversary with Temple Sholom, or a 65-year anniversary with Temple Sholom. This is a momentous night. So for those of you who are here this evening who are celebrating your anniversary, our anniversary with you together tonight, please come to the bima. Yes, come to this bima. We want to have an opportunity to take this in. Ani lidodi vidodi li, I am my beloved's, my beloved is mine. In this month of Elul, we celebrate that we are a beloved community of care, of joy. Why not right here? And so there is a special way that we celebrate anniversaries. So here we are. You can imagine the chuppah that's above you right now as we're celebrating our anniversary. Oh, this is so special. And so the way that we mark this is by singing the Shehachianu, because we thank God for being able to reach this time, all of us together. And so we sing these words where we say, thank you, God, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and allowing us to be this beloved community together. Ani lidodi vidodi li, I am my beloved's, my beloved is mine. Because of all of you who are so beloved to us, we are this community of love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'hihyanu lazman hazeh. I tried to make the amen as long as the anniversary,
I love
so I
that.
hope that worked.
Well, and maybe we'll escort you to your seats by what
Ah,
about singing a couple mazel tov?
Simon Tover, Mazel Tover, Mazel Tov. Thank you guys. You're gonna be singing Simon Tover, Mazel Tover, Mazel Tover, Simon Tover, Simon Tover, Mazel. I know you're waiting for candy to be thrown at you. Yehelanu, 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 Ulachol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulachol Yisrael.
So if you were wondering, who are those 65-year anniversaries? Joan Baer, Richard Rothman are both 65-year anniversary members. We love them. Now, we also have the Gutzmers who are up here. So where are Lynn and Peter? They are the longest reigning for this evening who's here. That they have together 45 years with the synagogue. And Lynn, could you tell us how long your mom, Sue Meyer, has with the congregation? 70 something, to be precise. Mazel tov. And I want to now invite two extraordinary leaders in our community who have discerning taste like you can believe because you've seen what they have done for our community. So please, Jed Silberg and Karen Lewis, if you would join us on the bima now. These were the co-chairs of the assistant rabbi search. Wow, should we just give it up for them? Woo! So Jed Spielberg at the time was our president. He's our immediate past president now. And Karen Lewis has been an extraordinary leader and visionary in our community for quite some time. We are so very grateful. And as soon as we met Rabbi Singer, then rabbinical student Rena Singer, we knew that she was someone extraordinary. And if we did things just right, she might choose us too. And because of these great leaders and these great leaders, she did.
Shabbat Shalom. God of every voice. You may.
I'll just say that we have a beautiful program. On that program, we have an extraordinary blessing written by our very own poet laureate and past president, Helene Cohn, who has beautifully put these words that really sing our own souls this evening. And so this is a responsive prayer. So you'll see in the program the parts in which they'll lead and we'll respond. Thank you. Thanks, Karen.
We're going to repeat that one there. Everyone ready? God of every voice.
God of every star. From seed to stem, from stem to flower, from flower to fruit.
Let potential and promise ripen. Let it be kneaded and nourished with warmth. Let wisdom and wing spread unfurl.
With intent, sing a new song. With modern rituals, be joyful. With a full heart, launch. We seekers of your spark, open the tent generously. We pray for your guidance.
May your presence accompany Rabbi Singer without limit. Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And now it's an honor to call to the bima our president, Sherry Weil, who will introduce the extraordinary Rabbi Sarah Luria, who will officially install Rabbi Singer at Temple Sholom. And I'll say yes. But you'll notice in just a moment that Rabbi Luria will be joining us here on this extraordinary screen as she continues to heal.
Shabbat Shalom. And welcome to all of our members, our visitors, our family and friends of Rabbi Singer. What a beautiful occasion for all of us to be here together on this Shabbat, celebrating and installing Rabbi Singer with joy. Your love for Temple Sholom and our Lakeview community and our Chicago community is felt by everyone you meet. The leadership you provide, your wisdom, kindness, pastoral care, and contagious enthusiasm for Torah and learning are so appreciated by all of us. You complete our extraordinary clergy team, and we are thrilled to be celebrating you tonight as we head into the new year. It's an honor for me to introduce Rabbi Sarah Luria and welcome her to Temple Sholom. Rabbi Luria is the founder of multiple creative Jewish communities. She founded and now directs Beloved, a network of spiritual leaders planting new projects in communities. Previously, she started and led Beloved Brooklyn, a home-based experiment in Jewish life, as well as Immerse NYC, a community mikvah project, which is now part of the Manhattan JCC. Rabbi Luria is a cultivator of ideas and dreams and a mentor to entrepreneurial rabbis across America, and a special mentor and friend to Rabbi Singer.
I'll
Thank
just
you,
say, Rabbi Luria, if you would just give us a moment. We're having a couple of technical difficulties, and it looks like that mouse is getting closer and closer to the area it needs to click, and yay! And
Okay, how we doing? Are we here?
that was a very strong yes.
Oh, it's funny. I'm so with you. I'm so with you. And I'm also far away. So I now just see an empty bima. So I'm just picturing it in the beginning with Rabbi Singer, like the beginning with Rabbi Singer and her family leading Kiddush. So that will be my view. I just, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here, whatever here means now in this era. And I am just so delighted that I get to sing with your community and learn from your community. And I feel that love is in the air because so much of what Rabbi Conover shared is reminiscent of what I'm going to share. So I feel we're on the same wavelength, even if we're not in the same room. And I really am so sorry that I can't be there in person. And I'm so glad that we could make this work this way. So I feel like I need a picture of Rabbi Singer on my wall so that I can really speak to her, but I'm actually speaking to all of you. So I want to tell you a story to begin. Several years ago, I was working with a couple whose wedding I was going to be officiating. And at our first meeting, they both shared that they were very happy, and they talked about the cake and the DJ and the bride's dress. And then towards the end of our time together, they just casually mentioned that they were also somewhat trepidatious about their upcoming wedding. So of course, as a rabbi, I asked, tell me about your fears. One said, I'll never have my own room again, my very own space, and I have to give that up. And the other said, I have to give up a lot of autonomy to get married. And I love my autonomy. I was so heartened that this couple was willing to say the quiet part of the engagement period out loud. Loving a person and committing to that beloved can be scary. Many of us fear that in committing to another, we have to shrink, hide, or lose parts of ourselves in order to fit together. In her book, which I'm sure Rena, Rabbi Singer, and I have spoken about, All About Love, Bell Hooks, who wrote this book, who's an author who writes extensively on issues of race and feminism. Bell Hooks shares her definition of love, which she borrows from a psychiatrist, M. Scott Peck. She says, love is the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. I'm going to read that again because I think it's not the usual definition we think of when we think about love. Love is the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. What I think is most resonant about this definition for this moment, for us tonight, is the idea that love and commitment to each other are not about closing off parts of ourselves or making ourselves smaller to fit into a we. Quite the opposite. Love is about extending oneself. Love is growing into a larger we than we could ever be alone. As Rabbi Conover said, we are right in the middle of the month of Elul, the month before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. In a way, we are engaged. We are in the engagement period with ourselves and each other and our divine, leading up to our recommitment ceremony, Yom Kippur, when we stand before God and ask to be accepted and loved as the flawed, beautiful humans that we are. So we already know that Elul is an acronym for Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li, I am my beloved and my beloved is mine. Also, in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, which is a 19th century Cliff Notes version of the Compendium of Jewish Law, we learn of an additional Aleph Lamed Vav Lamed Elul acronym, this time from the book of Esther. That's another tool to help us figure out how do we live while we're engaged in this Elul period. This acronym, the words of this acronym read, Ish L'Re'ehu, a person to his or her or their neighbor, friend, fellow congregant, sibling, a person to another person, umatanot la'evyonim, and gifts for evyonim, which is usually translated as the poor, but really the root of the word means those who are made lower, those who experience oppression, those who are going through a hard time. So a person to their friend in an equal relationship in Elul. And if there is an evyon, if there is a person who needs lifting up, we give them a gift. If there's an unevenness in this past year, we come back to reciprocity. Ish l're'ehu u'matanot le'evyonim. Let us reestablish our relationship, our connection to one another on even, solid ground. Taken together, Ani l'dodi v'dodi li v'ish l're'ehu u'matanot le'evyonim. These two Elul possibilities help us recognize our neighbor, our fellow congregant, maybe even our clergy as our beloved, and that growing our capacity to care for one another is how we prepare for the high holy days ahead. Last week, I asked Rabbi Singer to tell me about you, the people who she's committing to in this installation ceremony. And she said, oh, Sarah, I love the congregant. I mean, I genuinely love the congregant. I think she repeated that phrase 3 times over the course of a 10-minute conversation. She told me about your generosity and your kindness. The early pandemic walks with you when she first got to Chicago, how she would be out walking with one wonderful person, and then that person would tell her, Ish l're'ehu, about a friend. And then soon enough, she'd be out on a walk with that friend who also happened to be wonderful, and it just kept going on like that. She told me about your generosity and kindness, about a congregant who dropped off a map of Chicago at her doorstep with a note, don't get lost. And that Rabbi Conover dropped off groceries to her house within an hour of her arrival to the city in the midst of a crazy thunderstorm. She told me about your generosity and your kindness, that the week before Thanksgiving, She received several emails saying, I will have extra food. Who will need it? Where can I bring it? Rabbi Singer, Rena, you deserve generosity and kindness. You deserve this community, and this community deserves you. You who are creative, brilliant, and wise, funny, appropriately irreverent. I don't know all of you, but I'm just going to guess that she's cooler than most of us. Incisive, a lead translator of Torah for our time, and most of all, generous and kind. So perhaps these 2 years, all of you have been in the engagement period. And in this time, you have extended yourselves, you have grown together. You all have been made bigger because of this reciprocal relationship of generosity and kindness, of love and care. May this commitment between Rabbi Singer and all of you that we are officially sealing today exemplify this season's precious teaching that we are beloved to each other, ish l're'ehu, person to person, congregant to congregant, friend to friend. Shabbat shalom.
Yasher Koach, thank you so much. And with that, Rabbi Luria, we will invite our community, this beloved community, to please rise, embody, and in spirit as we invite another couple of rabbi singers and Cantor Katzman to join us on the bima now. And Rabbi Singer, I'm going to take you to the ark for just a moment. I'm going to have a moment of just being able to share some words with Rabbi Singer. Quietly. As I do so, I invite you even to just quietly, just without any words, but just in your minds and in your hearts, send her the blessings you want her to have on her rabbinate and her life. Rabbi Singers and Rabbi Gelman, we'll invite you now to hold this talit over Rabbi Singer. This is a talit that all of our clergy wear on the High Holy Days. And now that you are officially being installed, we want to hold it over you as you receive this beautiful blessing of the Yivarechecha. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha Yehi ratzon May God continue to bless you and protect you, and we can put our hands up in blessing as we bless this glorious rabbi. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha Ken yehi ratzon Ken yehi ratzon Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh lecha Shalom Shalom, shalom. In Yehi Ratzon. In Yehi Ratzon.
May God's light shine upon you. May God be gracious to you. And may that graciousness lead you to incredible places. May you lead us to incredible places. And may we all go with you and be led to peace. As we say, Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. This is really giving me flashbacks to my bat mitzvah. It's easier, but more intense. And I want to say that I'm dressed better, but I'm actually basically wearing the same outfit. So here we go. But I'm going to start about 15 years after my bat mitzvah at my rabbinic job search. And Shabbat Shalom. Rabbinic job searches, like most job searches, are an exhausting and vulnerable whirlwind. They involve traveling around the country from synagogue to synagogue for up to 4 to 5 days at a time, interviewing from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and navigating all kinds of search committees and questions, unexpected questions from people of all ages. For example, when I was in Florida, I was asked to lead a Tot Shabbat, and I had sung my heart out with these kids. And at the end, a 4-year-old very solemnly raised her hand and said, "Rabbi, are you married and are you planning on getting pregnant anytime soon?" And I didn't have the heart to tell her that this was in fact an illegal question for this interview. But Temple Sholom, that interview truly was different. And you brought so much humanity into this process. And it felt like such a good fit that by the end, I was desperate to work here. And I fell in love.
I fell in love with Temple Sholom because you all are so genuine. You are genuine in your desire to connect as people, to dream up modern and creative Judaism together. You are genuine in your desire to make change. I fell in love with Temple Sholom because this community seeks to embrace the Jewish people as they really are, diverse in socioeconomic status, in background, in age, in race, and in gender. And you also are beautifully diverse in your relationship to Judaism. You are a mix of religious, of not so religious, cultural and curious, skeptical, spiritual, seeking Jewish people, and people who are not yet Jewish, and people who are not at all Jewish, but who are essential to our community. Finally, I fell in love with Temple Sholom because we share a purpose that sits at the heart of our tradition. And that purpose or vision is found in the Talmud in a story about a man named Joseph. Joseph is the son of a famous rabbi, and Joseph is very sick, and he gets so sick that he loses consciousness, and his father thinks that he is dead. But then suddenly, magically, like the Talmudic story, Joseph comes back to life. And his father says to him, Joseph, you came so close to death. Did you see anything? Is there an afterlife? Is there something out there? And Joseph responds and he says, I saw our world, but it was an olam hafuch, which means it was a world that is upside down. And his father looks at him and says, Joseph, what you really saw is an olam barur. That means a clearer world. An olam hafuch is an olam barur. A world that is upside down is actually a clearer world. As Jews, one of my favorite things about being Jewish and why I became a rabbi is because we've inherited a tradition that asks us to see our world differently. It asks us to prioritize rest, to pursue justice, and it asks us to do what my parents taught me from a very young age, which is to treat every single person we encounter as though they might be the prophet Elijah. This is why I was so desperate to work at Temple Sholom. I was finishing up my final interview here, and I was heading to the airport, or I was getting ready to head to the airport, and Rabbi Conover jumps up and she grabs my suitcase and she starts carrying it down the stairs. I was so embarrassed. I was trying to get a job here. And my future boss is lugging my heavy suitcase down a set of stairs. I said something to her along the lines of, no, I should be carrying your bag. And she said, no, this is what my rabbis did for me, and this is what I am going to do for you. Temple Sholom is a place where we use our inherited values and our stories to build a different world. And I could not be more grateful to build that olam hafuch, that upside down world, in partnership with all of you. Thank you for teaching me that we don't let much stop us. That even when a pandemic shuts down our ability to gather, that we can still connect. We can Zoom and go on walks and pray and teach and cook virtually and stand in the parking lot in every temperature Chicago has to offer for Hanukkah and Passover and Purim, while we kept celebrating together. Thank you for teaching me how, despite our large numbers, we intimately take care of each other. We call the congregation, we bring each other food, we check in on each other and try to keep track of each other's needs. Thank you for teaching me about teamwork. This extraordinary team of clergy and staff that I could possibly dream of. They pour so much enthusiasm and care into everything we do. And I learn every day from every single one of you. Finally, thank you for letting me be there with you in moments of joy and in moments of pain, in challenging moments and in the many, many beautiful ones. In the words of Rabbi Sarah Luria, thank you so much. You have provided me with so much patience, with so much generosity, and with so much kindness. Thank you for teaching me and for continuing to teach me how to be a rabbi. Shabbat Shalom. We turn now to our announcements. Yes, we get to announce what's coming up next. There are a few things coming up. It was a very crazily timed installation, so thank you, everyone.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
I'll start us
years late,
off
but perfect.
with, as we talked about hearing, first of all, actually, that was perfect. Yes. As we talked about hearing the shofar every day during Elul, we have an incredible moment to come together in those small groups as a community on this Sunday, September 11th at 6 p.m. For our now annual shofar in the park, where we're going to gather at Wells Park, Hamlin Park, and the Temple Sholom parking lot. Really important.
Delivered like a dad.
Yeah.
And also this Sunday, we're gathering for religious school. We're very excited for that. And some are also gathering for Feed the Hungry at 9 a.m. in Betty Port Hall. We'll be making sandwiches together. And that way we're able to take them to another chance assembly for distribution. So if you're able to volunteer for that, you'll see that there's a QR code that you can be able to scan on your program, and that's going to get you access to signing up for things like this, as well as.
Well, mine's not very fun. Mine's the one that's got canceled and moved.
Oh, move.
Moved, sorry, changed. The Congregational Cubs game was scheduled for September 11th at 1:20, but it's been moved to Sunday, September 18th at 1:20. I hope I made that sound as exciting as it is.
That's exciting to you, as exciting as it is to you.
To
You
a
did make it sound
musician.
like that. And we're very excited for learning about the High Holy Days in more depth with Rabbi Singer on Wednesday, September 14th at 7:45. That's going to be online.
And on Saturday, September 17th, please join us for Slichot. Slichot is a service that happens the Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah. So we'll be gathering and studying and eating treats and praying together. And that's on the 17th at 8 p.m. You can join us in person or online.
And then later on that evening, after we have some nosh at 9:30 p.m., we'll begin our Slichot service. And this is when I believe the real true liturgical musical spirit of High Holy Days enters this place. And we have our beautiful choir singers. We have our quartet of our 13-piece choir come, and they're from the Lyric Opera and all around Chicago. They've been with us for decades. And it's really kind of the feel and the beginning of High Holy Days. So I hope you'll join us that evening for the program at 8, right? And the service at 9:30.
And we are now back in the season of adult education. And Sunday, September 18th, online is with our incredible Roger Pines as our guest scholar, exploring the moving of all Broadway musicals. We're really focusing on Fiddler on the Roof as it's coming to Chicago and the Lyric Opera. A lot going on.
Looking forward to spending all of those, at least some of those, with all of you.
We rise and turn to Aleinu on page 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא צמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי
המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Be seated. We turn now to our mourner's Kaddish, where we take a moment to remember the people who made us the people we are today. We remember the people we love and the people who we are mourning and missing. So if there's someone you're thinking of tonight who you would like to honor by sharing their name out loud, please do so as I pass my hand around the room. We add to those names Babette Hyman, Toby Kessler, Susan Solomon, Michael Burse, Leonard Charnay, Joan V. Dudkowski, Peter Dworsky, Phyllis Eatman, Pearl Elster, Harry Fathom, Inez Gold, Raymond Hartstein, Oscar Kofkin, Michelle Landis, Ben Lane Korn, Aaron Leibowitz, Kaya Vega Leibowitz, Dr. Andrew Lowe, Michael London, Erica Mansfield, Carolyn E. Marks, Irving Meister, Henry G. Marin, Olga Milberg, Richard Moschel, Sandra Novelski, Helen Pei, Muriel Phillips, Florence Pollock, Samuel Potashnik, Molly Baron Royblatt, Annette Rolski, Sonia Satanovskaya, Nathan Shapira, Rose Sheffer, Ronald Lee Scheiman, Arnold Siegel, Rebecca Hootman Stanley, Donald Stillman, Scott Stoll, Sarah J. Donner Washam, and Loretta Weinberg. May their memories be for a blessing. We turn to page 598. Please rise in body and in spirit.
שמי רבה. ילנה דיברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחיי אחון וביום אחון ובחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ימרו. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקדושה. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה ואמירן בעלמה ואמרו. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל אמרו. עושה שלום ממרומיו יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל אמרו. עושה שלום ממרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו.
Well, we're going to invite the singers back up on the bima. And Amy, you have to come with us. And Blake, you're welcome to come too, especially if you have rhythm. Because Rabbi Singer, you shared with us that you loved a certain artist so much so that you were rated the top person who had downloaded for Spotify. Could you share with us who that person is?
It's amazing.
I was in the 0.05% of Paul Simon listeners on Spotify last year.
So we're going to invite everybody to turn to page 625. Singers, please come on up here. Dancers, please stay in the congregation and really dance. This is so important and momentous. We're turning to page
I gotta stay down here. I have to.
All right, 625. I'll come down. And I'll just say this, it's so momentous that I brought a tampon.
All right, I'm coming up. I'm coming up, Rabbi, get up here.
Whoa.
All right. This is because, we're doing something a little crazy. So all you have to remember is this, okay? Here we go. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. You can be even louder, my dear. Are you ready? Okay, so Ethan's gonna kick it off. We're on page 625. I'm still gonna honor the text, but mostly honor you. Are you ready? Here we go. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yatzir nivra li'et nasa v'chefso kol azay melech shemo nikra v'acharei kichlot hakol levado imloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh get ready. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. Third verse. Behu echad v'yein sheni laham shelo lahachbira. B'li reshit, b'li tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'hamizrah, v'hu eli, v'chai go'ali, v'tzorchem li, v'yetzara, v'hu nisi, umanos li, menakosi b'yom ekra. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. What do you want to do?
I just wanted us to get like the coffee.
All right, here we go. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yatzir nivra li'et nasa v'chefso kol azay melech shemo nikra. You better be louder, she'll keep making you do it. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. It's Rabbi Singer Sholom installation. Yeah, little jazz hands at the end. Woo! Shabbat Shalom. Mazel tov.
So much better than Paul. Thank you. That was